What's happening? Andy here. I am joined today with Toby Weiss, Senior Vice President and GM of the Fiery Business Unit over at EFI Electronics for Imaging. How are you doing today, Toby?
Andy, how am I doing? That's such a difficult question to answer in these times. I'm, one day horrible, one day fantastic, one day grateful. I think I'm settling on grateful. And thanks so much for having me today. It's great to see you again.
Grateful is good. I am eternally grateful these days. Still employed, and I don't have COVID. No one I know has it. We're hunkered down here in Western New York, outside of Rochester. Where are you today?
I'm actually calling in from my home in Berkeley, which is about 25 miles north of EFI's headquarters in Fremont, California, in the Bay Area. And I think I've been settling on grateful here too. I mean, we have all the food we need on our table, and everyone is working, and the kids are doing great. And I'm grateful for our customers and our partners, of course, through this whole thing. I wish I could say I didn't know people who had gotten sick. Unfortunately, I do.
I think we all do now.
Everyone's been on the road to recovery, so that's great as well.
Yeah, I think at this point, probably everybody knows somebody who knows somebody at the very least, right? So, and unfortunately, that's only going to probably increase for the next few months. So, how are things going out there in California? We're doing okay here. I'm able to eat outside, and actually, we can even eat inside at restaurants. We haven't done it yet, my wife and I, but we're able to, I wouldn't call it normal, but we're still going to we can go to the grocery store. We've just got to wear our masks. And how's it out by you now?
I think we've taken a step backwards. Unfortunately, California is one of the hot spots, in the country right now. So we were one of the first to close down. I think March 16th was my last day in the office.
Wow.
Our headquarters is right across the street from Facebook's campus, and I think you started to see the tech companies shut down pretty quickly. And then our caseloads in California dropped, and fortunately they picked up. So now we've just announced schools aren't officially going to reopen yet. Hopefully that can change and we can get cases under control. Some things are open, outdoor dining, a few other things, but we're going to I think prolonged in opening up things, and it's going to take a little bit longer than everyone would like, unfortunately.
Well, probably a good segue. Unfortunately, it is the way it is, and it's going to be like this. I think I agree with you for a while, but that doesn't mean we stand still, right? So I'm not going to say new normal, but we're approaching our business differently than we did 6 months ago, right? There are a lot of different needs from your customers, and my understanding and the reason for today's chat is you guys are doing some special things to support these guys, and so why don't you talk a little bit about some of the things you guys are doing at EFI to help my followers, my viewers, who are the salespeople, the guys out there slinging that EFI.
The ones I'm so grateful for every day. And thanks so much for this opportunity to talk about that as well. We were looking at the industry and taking a hard look at how do we do a better job of supporting our partners and enabling them to support, the customers directly as well. And I think when we started seeing some trends, even before COVID, around, there's constantly a pressure on resources, both at the customer side, even our partners are trying to do more with less. So, what could we do as a vendor to try to make life easier? And once COVID hit, it became pretty obvious we have to put the pedal to the metal and accelerate a lot of that. So one of the first things that we did at the very end of March, beginning of April, was to allow our partners to take the Fiery certified training programs we have for free. We normally would charge money for that, but now, what we did is to say for our partners, if you want to use that time where you're not able to go to a customer, you're working remotely, to take our online classes, you can get a Fiery professional certification, and we waived the fee for that. And that has been a tremendous success. We had over 8,000 channel partners sign up for that. And over 6,000 completed. And just to give you a perspective of this isn't like a 45-minute online class that you just take. This is, if you're fast, 12 hours. If you're more like my speed, 15 hours of training. I think we're probably the only ones who offer that type of detailed training for a digital front end. When you get that professional certification, and end customers know if you're a Fiery professional certified, it's not a joke. People have been working with the Fiery for 10 years, 15 years, have sent in, notes to us like, wow, I realized this. I've been working with Fiery for so long, but I didn't know this, that, or the other thing. My customers are going to be so happy. And they can then be so much more productive when they're able to hit the road again. And so that's just been an enormous, enormous success for us.
So by comparison, over the same period last year, ballpark it for me. You had
Oh my
8,000
goodness.
signed up this time, and so was it in the
Yeah.
hundreds?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the number, but yeah, probably like 100 or something like that
Yeah.
at any
You
one
had
day.
8,000 sign up, and 75% of them went through the class. That's amazing.
Yeah, everyone took a class, but the fact that they all, that many actually completed the whole thing is really tremendous. We're just so grateful for the effort that our partners put in, and that's going to be a major return. Whether they learned about some new feature that's going to help their customer, or something they can sell, or a new value proposition, or avoid a support call or something like that in the future. So that was, just absolutely tremendous. But we did a little bit more than that. We really tried to evaluate, holistically, how do we support our partners and their end customers? And, again, as I was saying, the end customers, they're pressed for resources. Our partners don't have as many resources as they had before. And so we started looking from the ground up, how about support? How do we reduce the amount of calls that our partners are getting so they could spend more time selling, making money? We went in and retooled our entire support website. We had a third-party company benchmark it. They told us we're actually a pace setter for support. So we're happy to see that.
Yeah.
Thank you, TSIA, for, giving us that. And they benchmark you against, top tier companies that, you use every day in your consumer life. And so, okay, what could we do to get better? So we launched EFI communities, which is a way for end users to be able to get support directly. They're not having to bother a dealer or something with a question. We changed our product. So if you do a search within a product, it also searches all the web properties. So you can, find an answer out that might be on the web, not just in a product help or something like that. And a little detail like that. Our help website on Fiery gets close to 500,000 visitors a year. Fiery is a very, very popular, digital front end. It's got hundreds of thousands of users on it. And so, things like that, end users helping each other out. So we did a lot really from the ground up to kind of say, what can we do to just make the dealer's life better? And through that, the end customer's life better.
So you've got all this content, and I have to imagine that a lot of it most of that must have already been in existence, prior to this whole situation we're in. What's going forward? What's the thought on building out around that? We're going to be, your people are going to have plenty of time to do more learning. And now they've gone through these courses and they blew through them, it sounds like, very quickly. What's the thought now at EFI about going forward with more support and maybe other areas? And, what are you guys going to do about that?
Yeah, great question. So anyone who took the professional certification, there's actually an expert certification. So what we're doing now is putting programs in place to basically say, hey, if you want to go to the next level and actually be an expert, or if you're a technician, you want to go down that, how do I do field service? So there's extra courses like that. We're constantly updating the coursework, actually, because every year, there's a new version of the digital front end. There's new features, there's new version in printers. Our OEM partners have done an amazing job at coming out with new technology. And so, what you knew in the DFE a few years ago isn't, 100% relevant. You need to kind of stay on top with it. So we're constantly coming up with new courses, the expert certification. And I think another really big thing is the improvements we put into the product. We've always done a lot of investment in the Fiery digital front end around color management, around performance, around integration and usability. And so, again, really focusing on our partners and how they can support the customers. We've done a number of things in the product itself. Give you an example. A digital front end might have 45, 50 different types of settings that you can do for every single job to make it print perfectly. And why the heck does it have so many settings? Because designers choose to use every single feature that they can in Adobe tools. And they don't always stay on the same versions, and there are different ways they submit files. And so printers need all those different settings to get the output to come out right. Well, it's sometimes it's difficult for partners to tell and support their customers with which settings. So we launched our job expert. It looks at the PDF, automatically sets all the right settings, based on its knowledge. And so customers can just kind of go and not have to worry about changing things all the time. What does that avoids a call to a dealer that says, why isn't my file coming out? Or what do I need to do there? We updated all of our tools to get, the best color kind of on the first shot, and a number of things in the product as well. So it's really trying to all come together with, better educated field force, support to our channels, easier to use product, and, new features that help the customers take advantage of everything they can. There's a lot coming down the pipe.
So these courses, it sounds like most of them are for the specialists or for the production specialist, the software workflow specialist. But are any of these designed for just office salespeople?
Well, there's a whole course, so you don't have to do the 12 hours if you're just an office salesperson. If you just want to do the fiery overview, it's a free course that we offer, and it kind of tells you. So if you're selling office equipment, the value proposition, you don't need to know every single detail of 15 hours and get professionally certified. You can, very easily invest your time, 45 minutes in one course, and you'll be able to increase your ASP, I think pretty effectively, right? All you really need to know is that, hey, if you spend a little bit of extra money on a professional, fiery digital front end, which might cost a few $1,000s more in your equipment, you're going to be able to insource work that you might be outsourcing potentially. You're going to get better quality. You're going to get, better output. You're going to have that. And that is oftentimes going to pay for itself, especially if they're selling something inside of a marketing department. Obviously, our core markets of CRDs and quick printers, all know fiery and use it. But if they wanted to get that extra fiery sale inside of a corporation, then a little 45-minute class would be very helpful.
Well, a 45-minute class to teach you a little bit more about value-added selling, right? Where you can be that person in the deal selling price, just like the 2 or 3 other people in the deal, or you can walk in with a packaged solution that may cost a little more, but you're adding different components, and you can, if you learn how to sell it, you'll be able to explain to the customer why they should spend an extra $1,500 and what do they get for that extra $1,500. And suddenly you're selling value, not selling price. And that's where we all, in our industry, we want to be there. Nobody wants to sell price. If you sell price, you're not going to make any money.
It's interesting, the surveys that are always done to sales, and then surveys that are done to the end customer, right? And I think all of us, and always hearing oh, price. Actually, when you ask the end customer where is price on their deciding factor, it's usually not number 1, number 2, or even number 3 in terms of theirs. It kind of works its way to number 4 or 5. Now, they're never going to tell us, the vendors or the salespeople, like, hey, I don't care about price, but deep down, when they're making the decision, they really want to buy on, and everyone knows this, I think they want to buy based on the quality of, the value that they're going to get, their whole experience, their support, who they trust, and, obviously the best products and services.
Very cool. Very cool. So this program, it's ongoing. It's free at the moment, it's free for your resellers. Is there a stop date on the free? Is that just going to be a month-to-month decision?
Yeah, we might extend it, but I think given the huge number of people that we had take it, it's really going to be now much more of, okay, how do we actually keep new courses going for everyone there, keep the momentum. I think we wanted to take advantage of the fact that our partners were asking us, hey, we're not able to go visit the customers, what could we do? So now what we're doing is saying, okay, as the markets have opened up, a lot of them, not everywhere, obviously, but more and more customers are opening the doors. We've now been supplying a virtual fiery that everyone, our partners, can use to actually give demonstrations to their end customers without being in front of a piece of production gear. So imagine that you're trying to sell, a 60-page per minute printer along with, and you want to say, hey, well, I want to show you what a fiery digital front end can do. You can log on to, the tools that we have, spin up a virtual fiery, give a demonstration to the customer, exactly what that fiery would be if they bought it, exactly on that printer, configured exactly the same. It's the actual product in the cloud, though. You can demonstrate it to the customer, and then if the customer wants you can leave that virtual copy with them for 2 weeks. Maybe they wanted to be able to, try their own files or, see
Obvious,
exactly
right?
how
Yeah.
it works. Right. And that's resulting in sales because, for the first time, I've seen people buying, especially on the production gear, the office. I'm sure this has happened for a long time, but they're buying equipment without actually getting their hands on the equipment. They're making decisions virtually because that's just how you have to run things right now. And so they're able to see the new versions of the DFE operating as if they owned the equipment themselves. The performance isn't identical, obviously, because you're running it in the cloud, but everything else is completely identical. And so, I think we're going to shift a little bit more from that, that education to, okay, now how do you do your job virtually? And same thing, the increased usage on that is tremendous. At any given week, for the last 4 weeks, we have 150 virtual fireys being used every day by partners. It's really kind of amazing if you look at that. And that's just like testing things out and getting ready. And so super, super cool technology that we're going to continue to invest in.
Well, that sounds amazing. I think at this point, it'd probably be a little difficult to show me, but I think maybe when you're back at your office or your team is in front of a machine, I'd love to maybe set one of these Zoom calls up and we can do an actual demo and you can show this whole process and maybe show my viewers how easy this is, where it is, and we can put some links in there and they can go, get their own demos and learn how to do it on their own.
Super cool. They definitely don't need to wait for us to be back in the office because we set up, websites. If they want to engage their fiery partner, they go click, click, click. We've got, everything set up already. And you could literally spin up one of these sessions with a fiery, sales support person in a very short amount of time, like minutes.
Awesome.
And so it's super, super cool. We'd love to show it to you. And
yeah, we'll do another follow up on that. And then I think I'm going to have you guys get me some kind of a link where people can access the training and where people can access, the stuff we were just talking about here, this stuff. So the fiery demo.
That'd be great.
So thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to chat with me. Any last words? Any you want to shout out to your EFI people across the world?
Well, again, I'm just so grateful for, our employees, our partners, our customers. They've just managed to amaze me every single day with, what they do and how they do it. So we're super grateful for that. Everyone's working together to try to get business back to, the levels it was at before and beyond. And it feels like we're all just in this together. So thanks to everybody.
It's been great chatting with you. Please say hi to Jeff and, Holly and Frank and all my friends over there, Frank and everybody. So great talking to you, Toby. It was a nice chat, and I look forward to following up and maybe getting one of those demos done.
Will do. Thanks so much, Andy.
Have a good one. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.